Hello everyone, a brief talk again about Euro 2012 and the other two quarterfinals that went on over the past couple of days. So, it's a bit surprising that the two, what you would say, more interesting games between France and Spain and England and Italy turned out to be two of the more boring games of the quarterfinals. So, unfortunately, I guess we start off with France versus Spain. France didn't really show up. Spain got their goal kind of early in the 19th minute and then sort of just played keep ball and France couldn't really do anything. It surprises me how no team really pressures and pressures opponents like Spain does. And you can see it's like France's midfield were just guarding space rather than actually making sure the Spanish players had a hard time passing the ball, which was kind of, well, you could see it coming basically. There were one or two sparks of inspiration from France, but not enough. And I do admit though that the penalty for Spain in the end was kind of weak, especially considering one thing I kind of get annoyed with when watching the Spanish play is that they seem to flop around and dive a lot. There was this one moment when Jordi Alba, my new pet peeve for the Spanish team, he used to be Sergio Busquets and he probably still is for diving and play acting. And Jordi Alba did it a lot in that game against France too. There was one moment where he went down in his own box simulation. Technically, if you simulate, it's a foul, and if you simulate in the box, isn't that a penalty? So France probably deserved one penalty in that game. But still, overall, they were pretty weak, and France didn't really bother to, in Spain didn't really bother to do much after they went one goal ahead. Kind of a really mediocre game. So hopefully, the semi-finals will be better. And then the other game last night was England versus Italy, another boring game. And where England, I don't know, for the first like 5, maybe 15, 20 minutes, I thought England were okay. Great timing, by the way. So I thought England were okay. They were getting forward and they were like sort of pressuring high up the field. And Milner and Young were playing pretty decently, I'd say. But then after that, they after 20 minutes, once Italy sort of got a hold on the ball, Pirlo played awesome. And although they did do a lot of long balls, which is surprising, trying to get behind the English defense. And honestly, it worked a couple of times, they just couldn't put it away. And I was surprised at how tired the English were, probably because of that defense mentality. And I would honestly say that I think it isn't really the players. I really do think Roy Hodgson made a mistake in going all out defense for the past 4 games. Scott Parker and Steven Gerrard were tired as hell. Granted, they also played an extra 30 minutes yesterday, but they provided nothing going forward. Rooney, for some odd reason, was tired as well. He looked like he wasn't performing. And a lot of people criticize Ashley Young and James Milner, and I really like Milner because I know he can deliver quality crosses and he can do it constantly throughout the game. But when you're having your midfield basically just defend, there's nothing either of those could do. You saw in the first 5 to 20 minutes that they were actually doing okay. They were getting up and they were actually provided 1 or 2 crosses. But given that there was only one attacker in the box, it usually went to no one. So that's a bit of a shame. I do think, like I said, the tactics screwed up England more than actually the players. Because you saw Walcott come on to replace Milner after 60 minutes. So he had 30 minutes of normal time and then another 30 minutes of extra time. So he had an hour to perform as well, and you didn't see anything from him either. So that, I think, tells you everything you need to know. That it was the setup of the English team that promoted defense mentality that screwed them over basically. Walcott didn't go up further enough, and Ashley Young didn't do much either, having played the full 120 minutes. So again, I'd say tactically I thought Roy Hodgson did it wrong. Especially when you see Pirlo on the ball and him having all the time in the world just to do anything he wants. A lot of people said it was Rooney's duty to, guard or man mark Pirlo, but, a number of times he was also trying to get forward. So he cannot be just always on Pirlo's side and hoping that the ball will come to him. He needs to find space as well. So whenever he goes out to in a counter attack, England lose the ball quickly enough, he's not going to be getting back quickly enough to guard Pirlo again. Although at some points it was his fault, definitely. So we had Pirlo, and Pirlo played really well. And then we went to penalties, and I guess England went out on penalties. I'm not too sad that England went out on penalties because I just didn't want to see another match like that in semi-finals. I'd rather Italy play Germany just so that we have a more open game. I'm pretty sure Germany will be more open, so Italy will be able to pass a lot better through the German defense than through the English defense. Whereas if England went through, it would be just another repeat. So I'm happy that Italy went through. Pirlo's penalty was pretty damn cool. Ashley Young and Ashley Cole, well, what can you say? It's a penalty. It's not really all that. It's a lot based on luck anyway. So I thought I'd just kind of preview the semi-finals happening in a couple of days. First up, Spain versus Portugal. Hopefully this will be a more entertaining match. Hopefully Portugal will be able to do more with the ball than France did. And at least they have, runners on the ball like Ronaldo who can actually, hurt defenses. I think that's something you need as well. You need someone to run at the Spanish defense. Someone not afraid to run at the Spanish defense. So hopefully there's that. Portugal will probably have to rely on the counter-attack. But again, thankfully Portugal are pretty damn quick. And as we saw in the Spain versus France game, maybe even if Spain get one goal, they might not, press home that advantage and might just play keep ball. So, Portugal might have some opportunities after that to actually keep the ball themselves. So long as they do it well, because the Spanish will always pressure you. But I still expect Spain to go through. I just hope Portugal give us a good match. And if Portugal win and go through, I'll be fine with that. As for the other match, it's Germany versus Italy. I expect an open match. I expect a good match from two good teams. I kind of think Germany have a bit too much for Italy, especially given that Italy are relying on older players like Pirlo, who you'd think, the Germans would do a better job in marking, you'd think. Not necessarily. But we'll see how it goes. Of course, Italy might turn out and, be defensive, That's always been Italy's games anyway. Or Italy's, past games have been like that. Master of defense. So who knows? They might turn out and be defensive in that game, which would be funny, although a bit annoying. So we'll see how it goes. I kind of expect Germany to go through too. And another final of Spain versus Germany is kind of, repeating itself. But I'm all for that. I think the four better teams of the tournament have reached the semi-finals. So I think it's all, good in that aspect. So I do think the best teams have advanced. But I do think Spain and Germany are a bit of a cut above the others. Although to counter Spain, it's pretty much only one way, and that's to defend and counter-attack really well. And when you have the ball, because you're not going to have the ball for a lot of the time. So when you do have the ball, you just do it quickly, counter quickly. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to both of those matches. Hopefully they'll be fun and entertaining, unlike these quarterfinals. And I'll get back to you when those happen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.